Hello everybody, this is Jim Feist in Las Vegas, joined again by Joe Mack in New York, and we're going to talk a little bit of non-football stuff. We're going to go to baseball, talk about that, and we might even talk about a little NBA, what's going on in that market as well. So Joe, what do you see going on? We got a trade deadline coming up. We've got, you got the All-Star game, how that kind of disrupts the momentum for some teams and helps others. What do you think?
Well, I'll start off by saying yes, we're coming up on the All-Star break next week, and there's some teams that are kind of limping towards the All-Star break, but I'll tell you one of them that's not limping is the Red Sox. They are unbelievable, and I know it's funny. I look at some of these prices, Jim, that they have to lay, like with Sale pitchers. I just saw laying 400 and 380. But you know what? Some of their games are over in the second inning. They're winning, 7-0, 8-0 against Kansas City and whatnot. I tell you, the Red Sox, to me, have been the number one story. Now, people can quibble about overachieving, underachieving. I don't think anybody saw this team as somebody 30-plus games over 500, a little bit past the halfway point. They have been a magical team, and it's funny because, I'm in the New York area, and everyone's been gloating about what a great year it's been for the Yankees. But as we speak, the Yankees are starting to drift further and further back, and it's starting to look like they might be the team that has to play in the wild card game. And wouldn't that be something, to win, say, 105 games, and you wind up having to face Paxton on Seattle, or maybe, maybe you have to face Verlander or Cole for Houston. So anyway, the Red Sox, to me, have been the number one story. And on top of it, to kind of combine the All-Star game with what we talked about, the trade deadline, I think the Red Sox are in good position to make a blockbuster deal to get another arm, maybe to get a bullpen arm. And I think they're going to be pretty well fortified. I know there's been a lot of talk. I'm right here near where everything's happening with the Mets. Personally, I don't think the Mets are going to trade either. Their All-Star game representative, Jacob deGrom. I don't think they're going to trade him. I don't think they're going to trade Noah Syndergaard, who's lined up finally to pitch on Friday night against Washington. I don't believe the Mets are going to trade those guys. And the market for the other starting pitchers, to be honest, Jim, I can't get excited about Jay Happ and folks like that. I think it's going to be more about relievers and a couple of power bats. And I think the Red Sox are going to finagle their way, I don't know with who, but maybe they make the trade with the Cincinnati Reds and get Iglesias. But the Red Sox, you know what? They might be headed to a 110-win type season or some record-breaking season. So they've been the number one story of the season so far. Great lineup. A lineup that lacked punch last year. Now with J.D. Martinez in there, right now he's the AL MVP. So again, they're the top story, and I think they're going to angle for a starting pitcher if they can get one, and at least one guy in the bullpen to help set up Craig Kimbrell. So I think that's what to look for. And just to sweep in on the same thing, the Yankees are certainly looking to make a move. They would love to get a starting pitcher. I don't know if any of these guys right now in the market really wow them at all. But I'll tell you what, Brian Cashman, Yankees general manager, he has a way of keeping things very buttoned down and very quiet, and then all of a sudden they swoop in and they make a major deal. So who knows where he's going to go to get somebody, but he's likely going to dip into the market for somebody in the National League and land himself what he considers like a number 3 starter. They're very worried that Sonny Gray just can't cut it in New York. They're not sure that Masahiro Tanaka is going to be the pitcher they need to be, just coming back from hamstring injuries. Right now, I don't think they can really count on CC Sabathia being, dependable and sturdy all the way through October. So the Yankees certainly want a starting pitcher, and they need a guy that can eat some innings. The Red Sox are going to look at a 7th, 8th inning reliever and maybe even another bat. And anyway, it's all going to be an exciting part of the summer for those two teams.
Oh boy, that's for sure. I could definitely see the Yankees being in the wild card game, and that would be, like you said, win 100, 105 games and still have to play a wild card. That's kind of interesting to see that. Anything else out the West? We've got some real battles out in the West with Houston, and we got the Astros, or not the Astros, but the Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and of course San Francisco Giants are getting some of their players back. They haven't performed, other than Bumgarden, they haven't performed up to snuff yet, but they could turn that around the second half of the season.
Yeah, the National League West is really kind of funny. The Diamondbacks have been as streaky a team as I've ever seen. I mean, they can win 7 in a row, and then right the bottom falls out on them. I mean, they've had some hellacious highs and lows this year, and it hasn't always coincided with their first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, who was terrible for about 6 weeks and has been pretty good for the last 7 or 8 weeks. They were winning some games when he was leaving men all over on base, all over the place, and some of his power games haven't always coincided with wins. So the Diamondbacks have been ultra streaky. The Dodgers kind of were left for dead and came back out of the grave. And as you say, the Giants is almost like maybe slow and steady is going to win the race because they survived all those missed starts by Bumgarner. He obviously is not all the way back. I mean, he's back pitching, but he still has to regain some stuff. I don't believe any of the so-called rumors of Bumgarner being traded. The Giants aren't going to do it. He doesn't want to do it. That's not going to happen. But I'll tell you what, you might see a pitcher or two get imported into that NL West. Maybe on the Dodgers, maybe on the Rockies, who still feel like they have a shot. And so I think you might get a big name there. And I would not be shocked with all the Manny Machado rumors. I would not be shocked if he wound up somewhere in the NL West, whether it's the Dodgers or whether might be the favorite to get him, or he might wind up on the Giants. I mean, people got to remember the Giants really wanted Giancarlo Stanton last winter. Were willing to pay the big bucks. It just didn't. He didn't really want to go there. He wanted to go to the Yankees. I could see Machado maybe going to the Giants for a package of players, and that could really sway the fortunes for them. And after all, it is an even numbered year, right, Jim? I mean, they won it in 10 and 12 and 14, right? They skipped 16, so maybe 18 will be their year. And who's going to go against Bruce Bochy and that crew? So, like you said, they've had some injuries. They've got to get Longoria back and walking, and they've got to get McCutcheon to be a little more consistent. But I wouldn't count the Giants out, and I'll tell you right now, if they swing a deal where they get Machado, they're going to win. They're going to win the West. And to me, they'd probably be the favorite to go to the World Series at that point.
I agree. They're pretty dynamite if they put it all together. Milwaukee has been a big surprise this year. Cleveland's kind of doing what they're doing, but they're in such a weak division there that they're kind of running away with it, although they're on a losing streak right now. But Milwaukee has been very positive. The Brewers are really brewing, and that's kind of a surprise to most people.
Yeah, and you know what? They're doing it without a couple of the guys they really counted on to be, they wanted their middle infielder Villar to be a big star. He really hasn't panned out quite like that. I'll tell you, Frank Counsell is a top-flight manager. It means something. The National League managers mean something where they can make some moves. He's done very well with his bullpen. He's utilized his whole 25-man roster pretty good. They've got power. They can move guys. They can move guys from first base to the outfield and whatnot. I'd like to see them tighten up their defense from what I've seen a little bit, but they're pretty good. And like you said, they're holding off the Cubs for now. I don't know if they can do it for the full 162. If you had to make me pick right now, I think I'd take the Cubs to nudge them out, but the Brewers have been a fantastic story. We remember last year they were sitting on top for months. They kind of ran out of gas a little bit, and I think they were a little shy of overall depth last year. I don't think that's the problem this year. I think he's pretty comfortable, Counsell, going to his bench, going deep into his bullpen. And again, if folks out there haven't seen the kid, the left-hander with the long hair, Hader, this guy throws the ball. He throws the ball 100 miles an hour, and besides the fact that it moves, and nobody hits him hard. The guy's amazing. His strikeout to innings pitch ratio is off the charts. And, if they get into the postseason and he's facing a couple left-hand batters in the eighth inning, it's going to be lights out. So the Brewers have really been a nice team. They're well put together, smart management. They got a young GM in David Stearns. I've seen him on TV a few times on some of the MLB network shows. He's a very bright guy. And again, they might be the trade market, too, to get themselves a veteran pitcher in here. I don't know right now where they'd be looking, but if they can get themselves a guy that they thought was like a dependable number 3 starter, you know what? They could be a 100-win team themselves.
Well, that would be amazing. You know, other than being snake-bit against the Cubs at times, they very well could pull this one out. But when they get head-to-head, they have to kind of step up their pace because that's been a problem for them. But, well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate anything else you want to add for today?
No, that's about it. Like you said, we're gearing up more with the football. I mean, if you'd like, we can kick around the NFC North next time. That's your call, but we've been bouncing around. We did the South. Well, maybe we'll do a little NFC North, and we'll get all these, under wraps and stuff. And as I said, the teams are all going into camp around the 25th, 26th of this month. So it's going to get exciting. It's going to be fun, and we've got a lot of great NFL stuff ahead of us.
You got it. We'll do the NFC North the next time out, and I'll send you a text when we got a day we can do that.
Sounds great, Jim. All right, you enjoy your day.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening, and we'll see you in a couple days.